Welcome, this is John Phillips, Rackets Director here at the Seagate. Just want to share my thoughts on my 2025 CRSE personal project, a project that I began in March and finished up in October. It was a project that I really wanted to use to elevate our club. It's a really big part of what I wanted to do, is to do something that was going to elevate our club, and it started with the SMART goal. And the SMART goal that I decided to focus in on was to create and implement a 6-month, 3-step tennis program that prepares for juniors ages 5 to 12 for match play. So focusing on the juniors, giving them structure, giving them something to do for the next several months. Very important that I focused on this specific part of my department. Once I kind of knew it was going to be about the juniors, I had to have a vision. And I thought about my son, who's 7 years old, and I thought about some of the kids here, and I see their parents, and I wanted to build junior-parent relationships. And I was going to use tennis as a way of doing so. I wanted junior players to be active, competent, and competitive tennis players so they could, following these sessions, be able to build a better bond with their parents, with their friends, to be more competent, active, competitive on the court, and a really big part of this vision. That was kind of the macro side of things. Once I got that vision, I said, okay, now we got to create a schedule so we have kids that show up. You know, you can have the greatest vision of what you want to accomplish, but if you don't have attendance, you're going to have a problem. And so, you know, one thing that I looked at here was parent-centric schedules over pro-centric schedules. That just means that we are going to accommodate to the parent. We are not going to accommodate to the pro schedule. We asked the parents, what sections of the year can we look at to possibly get some great activity in for the kids? And we found that the shoulder time as school came to a close and went in, but not quite summer vacation plans yet, that kind of 3 days in May worked really well, along with 3 days in August when kids are coming back, but not quite into their fall sports. Then we looked at, okay, instead of stretching the session schedule out once a week, 4 weeks in a row, let's do a compact schedule, just 1 week, and do 3 consecutive days for a total of 5.5 hours of tennis. So we wanted a compact schedule versus a stretch schedule. Lastly, it was goal-orientated schedule, which means that kids from the very beginning understood that this was all working towards a very special day in October where we were going to do a team match play. Each session had their focus. We introduce match play in session 1. We do a lot of practice match play in session 2. We bring this all together with a team match play with parents and a surrounding club in the area to come and join us on the court. And so once we had that schedule, now we have the bigger vision of where this all fits into our particular program here at Seagate. Now the fun part, which was to create the program, a program that I already had in place, I've had success with. It's a 5-step program, consists of warm-up, hand-eye drills, up the river, match play, and then conclude it with a very fun, friendly, energetic, laughter, fun kind of 5-minute slowdown conclusion to these clinics. And I also use the same thing for my private lessons and my semi-private lessons. This same 5-step format that you see here on this slide, the warm-up, the hand-eye, the up the river, the match play, the conclusion, I keep within this framework. You'll notice in the parentheses, there's different things I do. And depending on the kids, I will differentiate things. But there is a progression where we kind of start on the easy things. It's easy to run a lap. And then we get a little bit more, okay, we'll do a little hand-eye coordination. Then we put the racket in the hands. We do a little tap tennis. We toss, we do a little bit of point play. And then we do match play, meaning 15, 30, 40 game with serves, with feeds. That's a really big part of this project, which was, you know, to create a program that really built the skill set and the competency rate and the competitiveness of these kids. The timeline here, you know, pretty self-explanatory. March, it was let's build a plan. April, let's make sure we contact the parents so that we can carry this plan out and make sure we have dates that work. May, first session is underway. June, we provide feedback on that first session. July, it's a rest. It's summertime. August, we run our second session, really focusing on practicing match play. Again, another 5.5 hour total amount of time. September, really make sure that the parents that you have scheduled for October's team match play and the club from the surrounding area will be there, will be on time, we'll have it on the calendar. We want to make sure that the parents in the surrounding club are on the same page so we don't build, and all of a sudden October comes and we're supposed to play a team match play and we have no one to play. And then following that, once that took place, It was really to make sure that we have all this momentum and we keep this momentum going with a Friday night clinic with all the kids coming out 5 to 7 p.m. and use this big program as momentum to build a whole new program with good attendance, and that would start in November. So that was kind of the timeline. I would say in terms of challenges, session 1, we had a weather challenge. And the reality is May is a rainy month, and I did not have a backup plan. Luckily, we had no weather problems. But we had a 3-day window, and if we didn't catch that 3-day window, it wasn't a guarantee that we were going to get all the kids in one place for 3 days for 5.5 hours of tennis. That can't happen again. I think I need a better option B, better plan B going forward, and probably stay away from the month of May for a project like this where you need 3 consecutive days in a row. So weather's a problem, I think, in session 1, but luckily I dodged a bullet. Session 2, I needed more time spending with match play. The last day of the 3 days that we went in session 2 should have been an inter-club scrimmage. Right off the bat, very, very quick warm-up and get the kids feeling like they're playing an inter-club scrimmage. Let them know the night before of who they're going to play against, singles, doubles. Really make sure that they've really, got down the details that you need in order to play a match, and that's something to think about. Limited staff for our October match play event. It was just me on session 3. It was a lot of fun. It went really smooth. I just felt like I really couldn't enjoy the moment. And I wish I spent more time enjoying the moment instead of kind of doing all the little details that we needed to do in order to make this happen. I kind of blinked and it was over. And I wish I had more time to enjoy it. Little things that make a big difference. 1-minute session video, very important. I did this. I sent it to parents. They loved it. Personal feedback video. So when I send that personal feedback in June, it's a video that the kids can see on their parents' phone of just me showing a visualization of what I'd like to see them improve on. Team uniforms builds bond. In an overly individualistic culture at times, people can feel disconnected. It was a way to connect the kids together, create a collective force, a team unity, team bonding, really good idea. Definitely have the uniforms. Pizza party following day 2 of session 1 and 2, really important. Kids loved it. They looked forward to it. They knew it was coming. A lot of fun and really a good, nice little detail that made a difference. And lastly, I would say the High Chew giveaway at the end of each clinic. Again, I like that, just a little candy at the end for positive behavior reinforcement, or many things that you could do for that. Really a good touch. Not challenges. Final thoughts. I would just say this was one of the most successful startup programs that I was a part of here at Seagate. Now we have up to 9 kids in this group lesson. We've done 12 classes so far, $3,000 of revenue, just a huge net positive. I would say in 2026, my advice is to have a mentorship component to this class. So if you're Mark or you're Rachel or you're Tom, try to get someone who's gone through this class and gone through a personal project, pair them up with somebody for the next year's class, and just have them once a month talk to them. It'll deliver a higher level of quality and accountability for this class. And lastly, create a party for our graduates in RSPA and the divisional convention. It's a little thing that'll make a big difference. It's my final thought. It's a way to get all the people that participate in this program together one more time in person, because a lot of this was, video and online. Definitely in person would be a nice touch for our next upcoming divisional RSPA convention to have that moment. I really enjoyed it, and I really look forward to continuing through this process through CRSE, and I hope you enjoy this presentation.